Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and today I'm doing a subscriber financial review. We are coming up on the last few videos that are like this. I am discontinuing this subscriber review video series. I have seen in the comments that quite a few of you are upset about that or will miss these videos, but just know that I have other ideas in mind. Nothing is going to happen immediately, but I will be doing something similar to this in the future, but it will be better. So just right now, this is going away, but something similar will come back in the future. But something I do want to call out is my one-on-one sessions. So I do still have these available. You can check out my website and see my different offerings. But if you need any help with budgeting, with saving, with paying down debt, just some guidance with your finances, you'll see when I go through this email, like this person who sent me this email would be a good fit for one-on-one sessions. So if I'm reading this email and you're like, wow, that sounds a lot like me, then you should probably try to work with me, you know? Another good option is my course that I recently launched. This is a debt-free blueprint course, and it's going to help you to budget, to save, and to pay down debt, and you can do that self-paced. That will also be linked down below. As always, if you decide to comment on this video, just please keep in mind that the person that this video is about will probably watch this video and will probably read the comments, so please just be friendly but helpful. All right, so I'm going to read her email now. I'm 42 years old, a single mother of 2 young adults. They both live with me. We live in Long Island, New York. I'm trying to save for a house and to be debt-free. I recently separated and have a storage bill. I didn't know and or understand money until recently. I created a spreadsheet in September and began my budgeting journey. However, sometimes I don't know if I'm tracking things properly or not. I keep putting money into savings and I keep having to use it. It's frustrating because I think she meant I can't. It's frustrating because I can't find where my error is. I'm trying to save and pay off my small debt first. My biggest downfall is ordering food or takeout. Other than that, I'm pretty laser focused on building a home down payment. Since starting my budget in September, my sons help with quick meals such as tacos or simple meals, and my other son will do vacuuming and dishes. I drive about 33 miles back and forth from work 5 days a week, so I get home tired, hence the ordering out. Since they're not babies, I told them we need a game plan, otherwise we will never save for a home. They completely understand and agree to help. A couple of things in just that paragraph alone. So she mentioned that I'm pretty sure it says because I can find where my error is, but I think she means she can't find where her error is. And then she follows that with, my biggest downfall is ordering food or takeout. So that's probably where your error is. Unless she did mean the can and that's what she's referring to, that's probably your biggest spending area. And if you're not budgeting your food out, and if you're not keeping track of that, then that is probably where a lot of your money is going. You have a bucket that is leaking. And usually when I work with people who say that they don't know where they're going wrong, they're not actually properly budgeting or saving. And it sounds like she's very new to this, so that's completely understandable, but this is exactly the importance of budgeting and tracking every single dollar that you spend, because you may not even realize where you're spending money unless you're paying attention. I am really glad to see that her children are helping out around the house by doing chores, and also you'll see as I keep reading the email, one of her sons is also helping to pay for things. But yeah, it looks like one of them is cooking, so that is great. Something that I recommend to clients who have a problem with spending on food out, especially if they're like a busy individual and they're spending a lot of time commuting or they're having to work a ton and then they get home really drained. My first suggestion is always meal prepping. Now, not everybody loves this, so I completely understand that, but with meal prepping, you typically cook 1 time a week. I do this myself, still do this, I've done it for years. Every single Sunday or Monday, it just depends, I cook food. It takes me like 30 minutes and I have a meal for every single day of the week. That serves as my dinner for every day of the week, so then I don't have to think about it. I just pop it into the microwave, eat it, and wash my Tupperware container. You can do the same thing for your other meals throughout the week. For myself, those are usually things that I cook right then and there. If you don't like to eat the same thing every single day, then I suggest just general meal prepping. So this, or just food prepping. So this would be, again, like cooking some rice, maybe cooking whatever your protein is, just put that into a container, cooking some vegetables. Maybe you have a batch of sweet potatoes cooked, you have some steamed broccoli, you have some steamed bell peppers, something like that. So then at the end of the day, you get home from work and you can just throw everything together, pop it into the microwave, and then you have some options throughout the week. Maybe you have a couple of proteins cooked and you can switch it up here and there, or maybe you have rice and then the next day you have some pasta or something. So just general food prep is another great option, and you take care of that all in one day, put it into containers, keep it in the fridge. And then outside of that, if you don't even want to do that, my suggestion is to buy groceries that are easy for you to just throw into the microwave. It is not the healthiest thing, not something I prefer, not something I really recommend for your health. But if it's going to save you time and save you money, that is an option. So what I mean by this is like something that you can either just throw onto the stove real quick, like a boxed meal, or something you can throw into the microwave. So this would be like a frozen meal that comes with a few things. Pop it in the microwave when you get home and you don't have to worry about cooking. I'd rather you do that than go out to eat, because going out to eat probably isn't any healthier. Sorry, I talked about that for way too long, so let's continue. Her annual salary is $73,000 and she gets paid $1,100 a week. During Christmas season, she has a job earning approximately $80 to $100 a week. Maybe I can use this for my high yield savings in Christmas/miscellaneous. Side hustle, $500 a month. Maybe I can use this just for credit card debt. I have an emergency fund of $1,000, $100 direct deposited from my main income. I have a high yield savings of $1,020. Seasonal job goes straight here. And then she has a Christmas/miscellaneous savings of $88. Her 401k is at $2,200. Robinhood is at $1,200, where she's putting $30 a week. We're gonna come back to that. Actually, we'll talk about that right now because the next one we're gonna talk about too. Okay, so Robinhood, $1,200, and you're putting $30 a week. I would stop that. To me, it sounds like Robinhood is an okay platform, but most people, if you want to invest for the long term, if you want to invest wisely, like Robinhood just is not the way to go, in my opinion. Also, I'm not sure what you're investing in with Robinhood, but I'm going to assume that it's not like index funds and or ETFs type of thing. Like I just would be curious to see what you're actually investing in, or are you just like throwing $30 in there and not even investing it? Like that's a possibility too. So that's concerning. I would completely stop the Robinhood contributions or investing. That's $120 per month that you can instead put towards your debt. You need to be prioritizing your credit card debt because that's probably costing you a lot more in interest than you're going to earn in any investment right now. She did mention she has a 401k. I don't know if that's still available through her employer. She didn't mention it, I don't think. But if you have an employer plan and they are offering a match, contribute up to that match. But otherwise, just stop investing into Robinhood, stop investing into anything else if you are, and focus on paying down your credit card debt. And then from there, you can get back into investing. And when you get back into investing, I would suggest either increasing what you put towards your 401k or focusing on something like a Roth IRA with Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, one of those, and putting your money into index funds or ETFs like the S&P 500. She has an FSA account with $700, $16 direct deposited from her job. I use this for pads, allergies, meds, glasses, dentist, co-payment. Yes, that makes sense. Be careful with FSAs because typically, I believe actually with all of them, you have to use that money within the year. So if you have $700, I received this email back in, it was about a month ago in November. And if you still have $700 in November, that means you need to spend all $700 by the end of the year. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I like HSAs. I think HSAs are amazing. Like you get the tax benefit from that, but you can also wait to use that until you actually retire or be reimbursed later in life as long as you keep your receipts for current health purchases. But with the FSA, I don't really like it because you have to use the money in the year. So with her having $700 in this account at the end of the year, maybe she will have a lot of health things to pay for the final, couple weeks that we have left. But otherwise, she may end up just buying things that she doesn't even need. Otherwise, she would lose the money. And then she lists her debt. She has PayPal, $2,600, mainly from ordering DoorDash. I don't even have the app anymore. Okay, that's a good start. She has an American Express card, $1,198. Venmo, $944. Capital One, $156. Credit One card that she put pink in parentheses, $166. Car, $19,980. I pay an extra $80 a month. Don't pay an extra $80 a month. Stop that. Just make the minimum payment. Student loan, $11,000. I don't use my credit cards at all. Something that she did not provide in her email are her interest rates. And to me, that is also very telling of your current financial situation. If you didn't send me your interest rates, if you didn't send me your minimum payments, that means you probably don't have a firm understanding and grasp of your current finances. Because I don't have that information, I'm not going to be able to plug these numbers into my debt snowball / avalanche tracker, but I don't think we'll even need to do that just because with this situation, this is the reality of a lot of people. And this is why financial literacy and tracking your finances is so important, because if you are only aware of what your balance is and you're not paying attention to the interest rates, not paying attention to the minimum payments, she said she's putting an extra to her car. That's not helping her, because I'm assuming her car is a lower interest rate than her 5 different credit cards, and that extra $80 that you're putting to your car would be much better to go toward one of these credit cards, especially these smaller ones. Like you have a $156 balance. I really hope that it says 156,00. I'm going to assume, I don't know, that could be 15,600. I don't know. Definitely some like typos in here, but that $80, if she put that on the Credit One, which is a $166 balance, that takes care of half of it, and you can eliminate one card really, really quickly, you know? We'll talk about what she needs to do though. So let's look at her monthly bills. She sent her rent, car, storage, cell phone, investing, which I said to stop that, credit card monthly minimum. So again, it's not broken out. She just said a minimum of $190 across her credit card. So I don't have the answers to that. Apple Music, Apple Storage, Kickoff, laundry, gas, which I believe is gas for the house, and then electric, about $120. She says, I don't pay for gas. I use my company credit card, so gas for her car. I don't buy groceries. My oldest son pays for groceries, cable, and streaming services. I don't pay for health insurance. It's free from my job, and the boys are under their dad. I'm not high maintenance. I don't get my hair done. I don't get my nails done. I don't get massages. I stopped going out, especially now since I'm working on the weekends and after work. I'm not an impulsive shopper. My son works at the movie theater and gets free tickets and 50% off at concessions. That is the only outings we do. She said, where am I going wrong? My goal, to pay off my credit cards, to build a house down payment, to pay off the car, to pay off student loans, and then she attached a spreadsheet of her spending. Before I go to her spreadsheets or to my spreadsheet, she says, my storage is because I moved from a house to a 1-bedroom due to a separation. I hope to be able to purchase something in 2024. Otherwise, I'm moving to a 2-bedroom and eliminating my storage expense. She did share her credit score. It's not too bad, 677 to 701 across the different bureaus. I get a bonus in December of approximately $2,000 and $8,000 in March. I plan to add to, I'm assuming, high yield savings accounts, and that is for my house down payment. I'd like to be able to pay off all my credit cards with my income, and then in 2024, if I'm able to buy and or if I move, I'll focus my attention on my car and student loan. Also, her job pays for car insurance, so that's not included in her budget. Now, she did send me a couple of the spreadsheets that she's using my, the budget spreadsheets that I offer for free. These don't look complete though. There is one that's more filled out, but she's definitely not properly budgeting though, because what I'm seeing on this one that has the most detail is she's listing her credit cards, but with the full balance. And what you're supposed to do when you budget is what you're actually going to be paying, what your budget is for that line item. Good news here is I just noticed the Capital One is the $156, not $15,000, so that's good. She also has on here WTF, and it looks like she just doesn't even know what that spending was. So that was almost $400 worth of spending. I don't know when this is from, maybe from October or something, but yeah, it's very clear that she does not have a strong grasp on how to budget, and that is okay. This is where I'm going to plug my course or my one-on-one sessions, because it is really important. I have videos on how to budget as well. You know, like I put up what I budget every single month. And I will try to work on videos that can reach more people on like how to actually set up a budget. Because yeah, if you're just throwing numbers on here and tracking sporadically or whatever the case may be, it's really not going to serve you. As I said earlier, I don't really have enough information about her debts to use my spreadsheets to their full potential, but we can hop to my spreadsheets now so we can kind of discuss what I think her next step should be. So here we are looking at the spending that she sent to me. Well, let me start by saying her income is $4,400. That's $1,100 per week. She did mention, you know, a seasonal job, and then she mentioned a side hustle, but we're just going to assume that's not even in here, you know, because even with just this income, her base income, she should be able to be making much more progress than she is on her debts currently. She just needs to prioritize things and then go about it that way. So first step is definitely you need to be budgeting every single month and budgeting properly. So this is going to be sitting down before the upcoming month, and planning out everything that you expect to spend in the coming month. You need to list your fixed expenses, including the minimum payments for your debts, and that means you need to just pay the minimum payment on all of your debts except the one that you are going to be focusing on. So this means you got to pay that minimum payment on your car, not the extra $80. You'll want to list your variable expenses, so things that change from month to month, your groceries, your food out. Actually make a plan for food out. You know, if you say I'm only going to spend $100 on food out, then that's what you need to try to do in the upcoming month, and actually track all of your spending as you're going through the month. I mean, overall, looking at this, things don't look too bad. Obviously, there's nothing she can do about her rent right now. This is the gas for the house, electric for the house, her car, she's paying the $509. I don't know if this includes the extra $80, but I'll just pretend this is the minimum payment. But as I keep saying, if this does include the extra $80, just pay the minimum payment. Whatever it is that you need to pay for the minimum payment is all you should be paying. Storage, she mentioned that she wants to move into a home, and then that will take care of the storage. But I think honestly, I just don't think you're in a place to purchase a home right now, just because it's going to take you quite some time to build up a house down payment. She lives in New York. I know it's very expensive there. If it's expensive in Georgia, it's much more expensive in New York. Interest rates are not in your favor right now. There's probably not that many houses available right now. So I just don't think it is in your best interest to move into a house currently. Now, she mentioned going to a 2-bedroom, and then that would get rid of the storage. And maybe that's the case, that's fine, but I'm sure it is pretty tough to live in an apartment with 3 people, and 2 of those people are young men. So I could understand wanting to go into a larger apartment, but maybe another option is even to see what you can just get rid of around your apartment, but also in this storage unit, so that you can eliminate the storage unit. But for now, we'll leave that as is. Phone is fine. I'm assuming this is for the 3 of y'all. Investing, this should go down to 0. If you are contributing to your 401k, that is fine. Otherwise, I don't think you should be investing while you have all this credit card debt. Apple Storage and the Apple Music are fine. Kickoff, I'm not sure what that is, but that's fine. Laundry, she said, is $25, and then her credit card minimum payments, $190. Let me just highlight that I changed this, because I am like just changing things in real time. She did not tell me what she's actually spending on food out, and I am just going to assume she doesn't even know what she's spending on food out. She said she doesn't know where her problem is. It is probably on the food out and just not properly tracking things. If this is several $100s in the month, then that is going to make it difficult to save and make it difficult to pay down debt. The other thing that's making it difficult is just your debt in general. So that when you have debt, when you have credit card debt specifically, it's probably high interest, and that is working against you. You know, if you have a $3,000 debt and it has a 25% plus interest rate, you are losing so much money on interest every single month. And even if you make a payment, a minimum payment on that credit card debt, then it's really not going to help too much, because the interest is just working against you. So then you're like, wait, I paid this much, but it only went down this much. And why am I not making progress? It's because you have all of this working against you. But in the meantime, you want to, and you're trying to save for a house, but that's just not working in your favor because you have all these negatives, all these liabilities in your life that are working against you. I put question marks for food out, but even let's say that you start budgeting like $250 max on food out. That's pushing it. You shouldn't be doing that really. I would prefer that you stick to like $150 or less. But if all of this is correct and we're just looking at your base income here, you have a solid $1,000 for the difference. So this is taking the difference between your spending and your income, and you have over $1,000 here. Obviously, not every month is perfect. Not every month is going to look like this, but if you can stick to a budget like this, then you can definitely make progress on your debt and be credit card debt free pretty quickly. I don't have the proper information to fill out this tracker. I did see on her spending some of the minimum payments, but it's just not 100% clear, so I'm just not going to bother with it. And then I don't have the interest rates. So even if I plug in the minimum payments, it's not going to fill everything out properly. But you can see here a list of the debts that she sent to me. And actually, I'm going to copy these over to my other spreadsheet. And honestly, I think she would benefit from doing the debt snowball method. So this would be paying the smallest balance down first and focusing any extra efforts on that smallest balance and then rolling that into your next smallest balance. So her order would be paying off this Capital One card and then Credit One, then Venmo, this American Express, and then finally PayPal. Sorry, this is not to be... Keep in mind that I received this email about a month ago, so I'm assuming these went down a little bit. The sum of these three come to $1,266. So she should be able to knock this out within 1 month. Now, if you remember in her email, she said that she receives a bonus of $2,000 in December. That $2,000 should cover the both of these. So, or all four of these, I should say. So all four of these debts here is a total of $2,464, and it's probably a little bit lower at this point. And instead of putting $80 extra to her car, that $80 should go toward these debts. The $2,000 bonus should not go to savings. Right now, that should go to your credit card debt because this will make a larger impact. She already has a couple thousand in savings, about a $2,000, a little bit more than that. That's definitely not enough for the long term by any means, but right now I would say that these credit cards are more of an emergency, and you live in an apartment, which is great. Your children are grown, which is even better. So I think you should be okay with $2,000 for, a couple more months. But yeah, what this is telling me is that with your regular income and then the bonus that you're getting in December, you should be able to pay off your Credit One, Capital One, Venmo, and American Express in December. So by the end of 2023, those 4 credit cards should be paid off. And then that's going to leave you with your PayPal credit card, which is the final one. And you should be able to knock that out, I would say, by February of 2024. So now you're not going to have to worry about these credit cards. You can roll all of those minimum payments into your PayPal payment. And then in January and in February, this $1,000 will go to your PayPal and you'll have paid it off by March. Now, I didn't include her car debt here. I didn't include her student loan debt here. That's fine. I think top priority is paying down your credit card debt. So I want you to be credit card debt free by March of 2024. That's definitely doable. And then she mentioned in March that she is receiving an $8,000 bonus. So I think at that point, you are safe to put that $8,000 toward your savings. And I would suggest putting a chunk of it toward your emergency fund and keeping that as your emergency fund. And then you can put the rest of it to your house down payment. Do I think it would be beneficial for you to pay down your car and your student loan? Yes, of course. Being completely debt-free is absolutely a game changer, especially when it comes to paying down those larger debts that have a larger minimum payment. Like if you pay down your car, you can free up, over $400, over $500, and now that can go towards savings or towards investing. But I do understand that you want to prioritize saving for a house. But if it's something that you can postpone, then I would suggest putting a little bit extra to your car and then to your student loan. So focus on the car after the credit cards. But yeah, come March, you'll be in a good place when it comes to your credit card debt. And what I mean by that is you will have none. your credit score is going to improve. So then at that point, or maybe a few months after, you can apply for a mortgage and get a better interest rate. But keep in mind that right now is just not the best time to buy a house, and obviously I don't know when that's going to change. But since you eliminated high interest debt, you'll be able to save a lot more of your money. And then at that point, if you also wanted to pick back up with the investing, like the $120 per month that you were investing into Robinhood, instead either putting that to your 401k or to a Roth IRA with a different platform preferably. So yeah, for this situation, we really didn't even need the spreadsheets. A lot of times people look at their finances from the wrong angle or from the wrong perspective, and that's because we are living in that situation, you know? But if you just take a step back, start getting organized. It may take a little bit of time, you know, it's gonna take some time to get used to budgeting, to tracking, to figuring out what works best for you. But if you just take that step back and make sure you list out everything about your debts. Make sure you're actually accounting for everything. What's the minimum payment? What's the interest rate? When are the due dates? And then you set up automatic payments, and then maybe you find ways to save money in your budget, and you clean everything up. Create a budget every single month, track your spending every single month, pay down your credit card in the next 3 months, use your bonuses for where it's going to provide the most value. And for you, that would be paying down your credit card debt instead of saving it for a house down payment. Then things will just move much, much faster, and you'll see that it's really not such a big thing. You know, you are creating problems in your life that aren't really there, and it can be simplified. I know sometimes it's a lot easier said than done, but hopefully this video was helpful and you can see what's possible. I think by the end of 2024, you should have a pretty hefty amount saved up. You'll make some progress on your car loan and your student loan debt as well. And then who knows, maybe the following year you will be in your home. So thank you so much to this individual for sharing their financial situation. If y'all have any other advice or feedback for this person, please feel free to comment that down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.